What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the ABJ Podcast. Episode 68, closing in on 70. We do have two more episodes this month. We do have episode 69 with HC Loke. And then we have the episode with Nubian Bear, the local rapper from Pottsville that I talked to. That's one has been pre-recorded with the new setup, so I can't wait for everyone to kind of see it. There's still more I want to do with it. Hopefully, I can get 2 or 3 more cameras. But looking like maybe the month of July and maybe August, we might. I'm still trying to like mull it over in my brain, but we might take off a little bit for the podcast. I have a lot going on in my personal life, new job changes, new things going on, so I may have to step away from content creating for a while. Because I like I said, I do have a lot I want to talk about, but it's just kind of been really, really tough. So kind of been keeping it close to the chest for a while, but pretty soon I'll be able to speak and let my feelings out and talk about everything. It's nothing bad, nothing hateful, but it's just been really tough for your boy ABJ for quite some time, for a little bit here when it comes to living life and doing this content. So before we get into anything, links below for all things ABJ. If you want to support, do whatever you got to do. Follow on social media. Patreon is there. Patreon's a monthly donation. You can also do that on Spotify as well. And then as of right now, it is 35 hours of 16% off, 35% off site wide on TeePublic. So if you want a t-shirt, hoodie, everything's there. I think t-shirts right now are only $16, so go grab that sale, and it goes to help me out a lot. Also, links for my guests and their merchandise, and follow them on social media, will also be there. And we're going to read off the sponsorship here with Suplex Vintage Wrestling. Guys, it has finally happened. An entire store fully dedicated to vintage wrestling. They say it can never be done, but I have seen it with my own eyes. Suplex Vintage Wrestling is a store curated for wrestling fans by wrestling fans, located on 5th Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1 block south of South Street in the heart of Queen Village. Their shop features the largest collection of vintage wrestling apparel under one classic roof. Their selection includes classic designs from your favorite wrestlers from the Golden Age, Attitude Era, Internationals, Indies, and more. And if you're tired of watching premium live events at home, SVW hosts the best watch party since your friend Kyle's birthday party when you were 12. This Saturday, I believe, Money in the Bank, they are having a watch stream. It's completely free to go watch the pay-per-view. But if you go there, it's $10 for food and drink, and also your $10 gets you into a raffle. So your raffle will get you an opportunity to win an opportunity to pick one of 2 cases. One case may have $250 in it. The other case may have absolutely nothing. But your $10 raffle gives you an opportunity to win that. So head down to Suplex Vintage Wrestling to go check out Money in the Bank this weekend. And if shirts and watch parties aren't your thing, let's not forget their large selection of figures, replica belts, trading cards from their t-shirts and hats of rare wrestling memorabilia. They have something for every wrestling enthusiast out there. So what are you waiting for? Check them out at suplex.svw on Instagram or at suplexsvw.com and let them satisfy your wrestling nostalgia needs. All right. Thank you, Hugh. Thank you so much to Suplex Vintage Wrestling and all the other sponsors we've had throughout the course of this podcast. It means so much. Live chat is open. If you're listening to this back later on, question and answer portion on Spotify has a way for you to ask questions or leave feedback of what you thought of this episode. All feedback is good feedback. Already had feedback from the last episode with Rocket. We got the first one in a long time. I'm actually going to pull that up right now. And it was... So this is where it's good where people leave these, because now I know. It says, love the energy brought to the episode. Can't wait for part 2 from Lilith. So thank you so much for leaving that feedback. And we look forward to having Rocket back as well. To not just talk wrestling, but talk about their interests and passions outside of that. So, yeah. And also Instagram, last plug, and we're done. I swear I can bring my guest in. But last plug, over on Instagram, I was able to create a channel. That channel is going to be a good way to join and find out all things ABJ and new content coming out. So without further ado, let me bring in my guest, the Egyptian torture expert. I've seen this guy here at Sanctuary who is, from the moment I watched him wrestle, I fell in love with the style, I fell in love with the character. Then meeting him as a person has been amazing. And a lot of people have had a chance to meet Ahmed as the person. They've met Prince Ahmed, the character. And one of 2 people are getting this interview, and I'm very thankful I'm one of them. So you guys are getting to meet Prince Ahmed here today. out of character, which is I'm very thankful for that he has the trust in me to step out of that comfort zone and speak to you guys as the listener and give you this full in-depth thing, because I'm telling you, he's one of those guys just like Rocket that I think it's only a matter of time we're seeing him on TV, and he's just that talented, and he has a great story and great passion, loves his business, and he's so innovative with everything he does. So let's bring him in without further ado, the one, the only Prince Ahmed. What's going on, man?
How you doing, bro?
I'm so happy
for
for
this intro, man. I'm happy as well, man. Thank you so much for all the great things you said.
Well, listen, my commentary, I've said this plenty of times in the podcast, would be nothing without the Sanctuary and the reps of that first season I got with Pete, and that Walker clan taking over the Sanctuary storyline was just it was so easy for someone like me to step in and do, because you guys told a story without even me having notes or having any prep to go in to do any of that. It was just talk about what you see. And you guys were so good at not just doing the art of wrestling, but portraying that story so we can tell it. A lot of people think, but when commentary goes to a show, we get all these notes and prep and all this stuff, and you don't. And it's either you walk up to the talent and get it yourself, or you just come up with it on the fly. And a lot of it was a little bit of both, and I felt like we all meshed very well. Like, you guys respected us for giving us.
I think you only asked me one time.
Yeah,
like at the very beginning, and ever since I was like, "Oh, he's fucking beautiful. Do whatever you want, brother. I trust you."
One of the big things that I get for your character that I kind of pull from on commentary, and I'm not sure if you're even aware of this or if we talked about it, but I'm a huge fan of the video game Assassin's Creed.
No, I didn't never pay attention.
So in the video game Assassin's Creed, when the assassins have this they have this vision, they can see things that other people can't see, and then one of the things they see is like a weakness on somebody or a hurt on somebody. So when they see the body, they see like almost like a video game, you see the red limb that's hurting, or it's damaged, or they like know where the person's weakness is, or they can study the person and see, like, it's like Batman vision. And that's exactly what I portray when I talk about you on commentary, because you start a match, you start off very, the same way as everybody else, but then you pick apart a limb and you pick apart someone's, and then every single move that comes after that is focused on that one limb. Like, you may look like you're going for a suplex and you've been working the leg the whole time, and you'll drop them down and then go right into a leg bar. Like, it's like a knee bar or something. And it's all off the top of the dome. And that's where I pull that. Cause like the Assassin's Creed games had a game where it was in Egypt and the Middle East and all those like different vibes, and like the eagle, and like using that culture into it too. And I was so that was like where I pull my ideas for your character on commentary.
I honestly love everything you say. I'm a big fan of you, especially with you and Peter, and Brian's doing a hell of a job too. Mm-hmm. You guys, I think you're the most. I think you watch my matches the most. So I'm like, oh, he knows everything about me. I don't need to say shit. He just gets it. Some people I will like trust without knowing them, and they kind of mess it up. They don't really understand the story. But with you, it's every time. I was like, oh, I don't need to worry. I know he will figure it out. If I do something to a neck, he knows it's the neck. If I go for the arm, he knows.
Yeah, right away.
You come up with this cool shit to call us. I'm very thankful for it. You make my matches 10 times better, honestly, and my posts, of course. Bro.
And that's a huge compliment come from you, because your matches already are top notch. So if you feel like I add more to it, that means a lot. So when did you fall in love with this world and industry of professional wrestling?
So with me, like, I kind of grew up in, like, I don't remember my first time watching. I just remember I grew into it. Like, my brother was a big like wrestling fan. But when we lived in Egypt, my dad used to send us like these tapes, wrestling tapes, every 6 months or whatever. When he comes to Egypt, he will come with tapes, or we will send it if he didn't come this year. So my brother would be the one who, you gotta like this guy, you gotta hate this guy, blah, blah, blah. So all my knowledge came from my older brothers. So I don't really remember the first time I watched wrestling. It's always been part of my life, and kind of follow. So
you grew up in Egypt, so your family would go and then get wrestling tapes and bring them back for you to watch.
Yes,
that's crazy. You're like, that's awesome.
Like all the stuff. I'll get my updates like every 6 months. There'll be a storyline working. Then you see it's like, oh shit, what happened here? Oh no, Stone Cold's healed now. Like, oh, what happened? So my dad didn't know better. God bless him. He would just get a lot of WCW tapes, So I grew up on like Vampiro and DDP and all these guys.
That's awesome. So was it something that was accepted in the house, or was wrestling like you had to like
Oh yeah, no,
don't show
yeah,
grandma or don't?
Oh my god, like my girl used to be terrified of wrestling. I remember she saw Vampiro one time in a taping, and she could start calling him the devil.
Yeah,
Because she thought the white paint was like, she thought that was actually his face, you know.
yeah.
So when I met him
it.
later, like years later, it meant a lot to me, you know.
How much of that of the culture in Egypt and stuff like that, what was wrestling a part of? Like, was it something that no one really knew about, or were you kind of like the only one that was like onto something that no one else did?
When I was a kid, yeah, I was kind of the only one that's on that path, and maybe like one because they weren't really like showing wrestling on TV like Raw and stuff. They would just like show matches every now and then. So I was kind of the only one who had the like tapes and shit. Until like there's one guy who his name is Mamdouh Farag. He said he used to be a wrestler. Maybe he was, I don't know, but he had his own like TV program, and he got huge afterwards. He called every move wrong, but God bless him, he tried. You know, he called every move like DDT. Yeah, he called every move like DDT and choke slam and making shit up. You know, but he was the only source of wrestling, so everybody watched him. After that, it kind of got bigger.
It kind of puts in perspective. Like, I know we talk about a lot, like with the crown jewel events, and a lot of people have their opinions and mixed opinions on it, but like I watch it, and then you see like the kids in the crowd, and then like hearing stories like you just said, like that's important for like wrestling to go over there, and like to kind of bring like groundbreaking things that's never happened in that country, like women wrestling and stuff like that. It's super important, and it's cool that wrestling can cross that barrier as an art to help people see different cultures. And,
it's very huge, like outside America. My dad, because my dad lived in Saudi before he went to America, and he said like I think it was like every Wednesday they would put like this big screen in the street, and they just stream wrestling on it, so people just like go and watch. So it's very big, but like they didn't have like the source, you know, like to like Monday Night Raw like 3 hours. I think now is different. When before I came to America a couple of years, they would only stream like it was a week behind, and it was like maybe an hour and a half of Raw. So there's a lot cut out of it.
Yeah, so you're missing a lot. When did you transit? Well, growing up, going through the tapes and stuff, you said like you watched a lot of those guys, but who's someone that stuck out to you that was like your favorite growing up?
It was DDP.
DDP,
yeah, he was my favorite because obviously it was like Rock and Stone Cold, but I have like, remember I told you like I like WCW tapes, and one of the reasons why, because my brother had this weird philosophy. My older brother, if he likes The Rock, I can't like him. You got to go for Triple H. If he likes, I don't know, like Stone Cold, you got to go for. Even with soccer too, he always makes me go with the other team. So with WCW, I remember my dad like he bought like these two action figures and sent it to us. It was Sting and DDP, and of course I wanted Sting, but my older brother said, no, you take DDP. I was like, no, but I want Sting, and of course he felt bad that he took Sting. That he start selling me on DDP. I was like, oh, he beat this, and he showed the match with Bret Hart. And I didn't know who Bret Hart was. And he thought, he was a big deal in WWF at the time. He beat Shawn Michaels, and he was a champion. So after that, I was like, oh, okay. And I love the song. And after that, he made me a fan of DDP. So
it's funny. Growing up, I didn't like WCW. I felt if you were over there, you were a traitor, and I wouldn't watch it. I was strictly a WWE kid. But DDP was the only guy that I would like go in and tune, because I loved when it was like DDP versus the world, like DDP versus the Flock, DDP versus the NWO. And I was like, yo, this guy's awesome. And then like learning his story later about how late he came into the industry. Like even me in this podcast, I'm thinking like, who's gonna sign on and watch and support a 30-some-year-old podcast? I'm like, yo, DDP didn't even start choke slamming people until he was in his late 30s.
Yeah,
so it's never, and he's iconic, and he's a huge inspiration. I love DDP.
100%.
Yeah. So when did you make that transition to say like, hey, I want to do this, and I want to chase this dream, and I want to become a professional wrestler? And how did that come about?
Like I always had the dream of being a professional wrestler, but living in Egypt, like we don't have wrestling schools, we have nothing. So I was like, I kind of went to the wrestler, like, you know, route. My older brother is a dentist. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go to oral and dental medicine school too. And once I went there, and it was like my first year ever being by myself, and a couple of near-death experiences had to me, and like every time, like fuck, man, like I kind of don't want to be a dentist, like. And that was the first time you ever kind of lived by yourself and making your own decisions.
Yeah. Now, are you a dentist in Egypt at this point, or did you come?
I just went like a year. I was in Egypt.
Okay.
I was just my first year, and I had like very bad like food food poisoning. And I lived in this kind of ghost town that was where my college was at. So it took us forever to find like a doctor, and he came and gave me a shot last minute. And the next day in college, I just like kind of crumbled, and the doctors there, they kind of put me in the clinic there, and they thought, hey man, you were very close of passing away. And when I was just sitting, and they gave me like the rest of the day, and they told me you can sleep here if you want. And I slept, and I was just saying, I remember I was sitting in the clinic by myself. I was like, man, if I would have passed away, like I would not be happy. I don't really want to be a dentist. My heart, I feel like there's something more. God bless everybody who's trying to do the right thing, and but for me, it's like, oh man, I don't want to feel like a zombie. I don't want to just go to college so I can get a job, so I can find a wife and have nothing wrong with that. Eventually I do want, but like in my heart, I was like, oh fuck, man, I kind of want more.
Yeah.
And after that, like I just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna go for it. It took me forever to come here too.
Yeah. That's my next question. It's like people think when somebody from another country wants to come here, they're like, do it the right way, do it. You know what I mean? Like, but
yeah, no.
What is that process? Like you said, it took you a long time. So you had family who lived in the States, you were saying
my dad and stuff. Yeah. So it made it a little bit easier because they had the American passport and all that stuff. My dad was a citizen. But for me, it took me like 2 years. And I live in a different city too. I live in a city called Bursaid in English, Port Said. So I had to travel almost like 3 days, 4 days a week where I have to go to Cairo, try to finish some paperwork, come back, go to work and all that shit, save money and try to do both, So I think it was like 2 years of like kind of nonstop every week. I would go travel like 3-4 hours to Cairo, try to finish it, come back, catch the last bus,
Yeah. Now, when you knew you were coming to America, did you know that you were coming to New York? Like, was that like the landing spot?
Yeah, because my dad lived in New York, and I was like, okay, fuck, who trains in New York? And I started looking at all these schools, and I found like Johnny. I was like, okay, and I remember I called my dad. At that time, he didn't really know. He knew like something was up with me. Like I wanted to come to America, but he didn't really know why. And I thought, do you live in Brooklyn? I said, yeah, why? I was like, oh, I was just asking. I was just trying to like pinpoint, okay, where could I go? How could I find this Gleason's gym they talk about,
So for those, he just grazed over it because to him it's second nature, but to us wrestling marks, he's talking about Johnny Rodz, WWE Hall of Famer, and Gleason's gym in Brooklyn, New York City. So not only did he leave the country, but he landed in one of the most badass places of all time.
Oh, 100%, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I made the right choice, even though it was kind of by fluke, but I made the right choice.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot you could have landed on there, man. New York is a really cool scene for professional wrestling. This whole Northeast, man, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and then even up to like Boston and stuff, man. There's so much cool, iconic places of professional wrestling. So you get to America. Did you right away jump and go to the gym and go talk to people?
It took me a little bit, to just trying to figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Then I remember I talked to Johnny. I think I was like 3 months in or something. Like in America, I was just trying to figure shit out when I went and talked to him.
Yeah.
And I told him the story, and at first I was like, really? So you came from Egypt to do this shit? I was like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. I was like, oh fuck, really? He said that like first thing he told me, I was like, I felt deflated. I was like, oh fuck, it took me like almost like 2-3 years to come here, man. Like fuck.
You're like, everyone's gonna love it. There's like you realize you don't make any money in wrestling unless you're really good.
Yeah, exactly. And he told me like, all right, pal, and he told me the price. He did like later out. I found out he give people like he could work with you, but I think he didn't take me serious. He told me after, like, I didn't expect you to come back, so he just gave me the full price. I thought, could I work with something? I think I came with America. I think I had like from the money I saved in Egypt, like $300 or some shit.
Yeah,
so I didn't have much, And I told him that I was like $300. No, pa. Like, give me the whole money and then we'll talk. I'm like, oh fuck. So it took me a little bit to get that money, and when I showed up, I was like, and I reminded him myself. He's like, oh shit, you came back. Oh, okay. I didn't expect you to come back, pa. All right.
Yeah.
All right, pa.
So what you pay your money, you get in there, you get the first time of doing that. Now, when you transition, I know you did the dentist thing and everything like that, but were you athletic? Did you play sports growing up in Egypt?
Yeah, I used to play a lot of soccer, a lot of football and stuff. So I was always skinny, but I was super skinny. But I was always active and stuff, kind of
Okay.
aggressive. Like I used to fool people. Like they would think, oh, this skinny kid's a defender too, which is a tough position in soccer. And I would just come stop tackle and just.
I love defender. That's what.
Oh, me too. My brother taught me everything about it, so I knew He used to make me. My older brother's like, I think it was like he's like 3-4 years older than me. He used to take me play with them, so they kind of rough me up. So when I go back to my same age, I'm like too big. I'm not too big. I'm too strong for them.
Yeah, you were too aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I was the smallest one on the field, but I had the best clearing ball, and I was just a psychopath.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I actually started playing goalie, but I would get so bored that that they would like take me out, like they wouldn't let me play goal anymore. The one game my mom was my coach. It's so funny. And I took the ball, and this is when you're like playing youth, and he only had half the field, so they put like a makeshift net on the other side. So I literally took the ball, and you know how everyone beehived when you first play as a kid. So I, as a kid, I understood like the game, and I would say like, why does everyone spread out? So everyone got the ball here, and I took the ball and ran across to the other side of the field and dropped it and ran up the other side of the field.
That's awesome.
And scored as a goalie. And my mom was just like, stop doing that. And I went, so they made me a defender. Yeah. Defender or midfield was my thing. And that's what I played. I coached for a long time too. It's beautiful.
That's
sport.
Awesome,
yeah.
Man. I love it.
That's what I did before getting into this content space.
Do you still watch it though?
I don't watch it as much. I don't have cable or live television, so I don't get to watch as much as I would like to. And most of my life is consuming professional wrestling right now. So that's all. If I have time to watch something, it's 9 times out of 10.
We gotta watch.
I'm trying to watch. Absolutely. Who's your team? Like, if you had to pick.
My team is my favorite team is AC Milan.
Okay.
From Italy, and then like Barcelona and. Of course,
okay. I always picked Manchester United just because it was they got the most airtime in America because they were really popular, and I like Wayne Rooney. I really liked, and
I used to love Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, MLS. He actually came over to DC United, and I follow all the DC teams. So then I got to go see him live in DC, which was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome, man! He was scoring crazy goals in America, bro. I was like, he's playing by himself.
Yeah, pretty much. It was great. Yeah. So, how much of your training of soccer and everything and being active helped you or did not help you being a professional wrestler?
So I played soccer, but I didn't know, is that going to help me out? Or I didn't know if I was athletic or not, because that's just, everybody's kind of the same ball. Yeah. I remember actually one of my first people I met in Gleason was Masha, was Annie.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%. She's the first person that made me roll. And I threw up right after.
I'm a huge mark for her. I think she's
I love it. I love her.
So amazing. Yeah.
So I threw up, and she went and got me Gatorade, and I was so new to the country, I didn't know what that was. It's like, is there alcohol in it? Is it halal? What is that? Is it because she got me the blue stuff? I was like, I said, no, don't worry, it's Gatorade. It's a sports drink, and I drank it.
I love how you had to have Masha if there was alcohol. In
absolutely.
It.
Oh, I didn't know her. She was so nice. She got me that shit. Looks weird to me, but they're like, we started doing up and overs, and I was kind of doing them good. And she told me, "Oh, you got hops. You're very athletic." I'm like, "Oh, am I? Oh, I don't know." So I think I would kind of equate that to playing soccer and always being kind of active. Well, my mom used to make us very active when we were kids. Yeah, like she used to make us go play soccer. She used to make us play do karate. I was like a blue belt in karate. My uncle used to beat the fuck out of me. He was the coach. I love him though. Yeah, and I played like ping pong for a little bit and like tennis. So I was kind of always active, but soccer was my main thing. Yeah, but I was kind of active when I was a kid. Yeah.
So how was the first couple of months doing bumps and stuff? Was there ever a point of the 3 years of grinding to get to this country and watching the tapes and consuming the wrestling, and then you finally get in there and you're taking the bumps and you're getting stretched out that you're like,
100%.
Was there ever a moment of like, I don't think this is for me, or were you just always determined?
It was in my head, like I took the first bump, like a death ring of Johnny's that he had. I'm like, how the hell did the people take suplexes this shit? And like, I still gotta get all this crazy shit. But in my head, I was like, fuck it, man. We've been through so much that we just gotta tough it out. And so in my head, I was like, am I gonna be able to do this? Because I don't know if you ever see me, like I'm pretty sure you've seen the way I hit the ropes. So the old school, like hit with your side.
Yep.
And they had like at that time they had like cables. So that shit will like fuck your side up. Yeah. So I'll be kind of hunched in and then taking the bumps. I was like all beat up. And now my head's like, fuck, am I really going to be able to do this, but then my second voice was like, oh man, we've been through a lot, bro. You gave up everything. Fuck you, PJ. Saw that one. I love PJ though. One of my favorite people. He done so much for me, man. He done so much for me. PJ, that man, like I could have like 3 episodes just about PJ. I love that man.
He's a great dude, man. Same with me. One of my first jobs outside of Sanctuary was in New Jersey, and a huge part of that I found out later on is PJ put the word in and said like,
he gave me my first match with Johnny. He gave me my first like belt with Johnny. He made me the first world champion, because all that is because of PJ. Like he actually is one of the reasons why I shifted to that style that you see today, is because at first I was kind of luchador, because that's how when it first broke in, they were doing a lot of lucha shows. I don't know, we just got sucked into that luchador mindset, just springboards and all that shit. And then like PJ one time, he told me like, hey man, if you want to be like a main eventer or like be taken serious, like you got to switch that style. He's like, really? And I was like, yeah, because like they're looking for, at that time, of course, PJ's like always been the top guy there. It's like they're looking for a heel, and like if you just work more like have a ground game and just be more, I don't know, like cowboy. That's what he kind of said. Just be more cowboy like. You will be in a different level. And once I did that, I actually felt the difference, honestly, in my style. I feel like because I'm not that athletic, like to just be doing all that shit all the time, you know.
So I got to thank you for all that. Says you and Johnny coming to America is very similar.
Oh, like that's true though.
Yeah.
Johnny's story is way worse though. Johnny's been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Next to Johnny, I feel like a soft guy.
I'll sneak this one in here because it is a great question. Hunter Dillon says, what are some major differences between the Egyptian culture and the American culture that you feel are most fascinating?
That's
processed foods.
I thought you guys would be more free, to be honest with you. Do you see, because you see all that stuff like land of the free and all that shit, and then you come here like you can't do shit.
Yeah, pay taxes.
Yeah, you can't. Like I used to have so much fun back home, you know. Just we do some stupid shit all the time, and then you come here like, oh, why are you here? The land of the free. I can do whatever I want.
There's a lot of rules.
Oh no, yeah, you can't do shit. Like, me and my buddies back in the day, like I remember we had like fireworks, and there was like a van, like not a van, like a bus that came in, and all of a sudden, I don't know why, we just threw like fireworks in that bus and just lit up, and then the bus started chasing us, like driving over the sidewalk and all that shit. We had to hide in a school. So coming here, I thought I would be like that free, doing kind of stupid shit I want, but like no,
no, not at all. Not at all.
It is pretty cool here, though, to us.
Yeah. So, who were some of the people that are pivotal to the early stages of your training? You kind of threw some names out there with PJ and Masha, as well as Cowboy.
Cowboy,
yeah.
Cowboy's my guy, man. I love Cowboy. I really do, man. He taught me.
Is he the one that transformed you from the lucha to the more mat technician?
Yeah, 100%. Because when we first started, like I remember I said, like I started all right. Then we started doing lucha shows, and they thought me and Jacob were kind of all right. So they picked me and Jacob to start doing lucha shit. And we could do springboards and lucha arm drags and lock up like the lucha way and all that stuff. But you told us to take like a hip toss or a snapmare, we like crash kill ourselves.
What?
You know? Yeah. Like we don't know. Like, and then like Cowboy one day, like Saturday, that's the day Cowboy would show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could tell everybody just God's fear just entered their hearts. Like, oh, what is he gonna do to us? You know, he put on this mask and just call and just not even speak. He just like points at you and you get in the ring, and he stretches the fuck out of you, bro. To beat the hell out of you.
And they say you go for hours, right? Like if
he go for hours. God bless him. He will go, like he will beat the hell out of you. Then like he will let you tag. Then blah blah blah. Then he go back to you again. But the second time he goes, he will work everything he did. So let's say he put like a shoot wrist lock on you.
Yeah.
The second time you tag in, he do it work. You barely feel him. I see how you're gonna react, how you're gonna sell. And I sold it the same way when it was really applied to me. And he ever since then, he's just been, you barely feel him.
Yeah.
Then you could tell the other guys who don't know how to sell, he goes back to shooting on the shooty, but like he's trying to really show him.
Feel it so you know how to sell it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it really helped me out a lot. And then right after that, and he just kind of brought me to the side. I was like, come more. Like, and Cowboy had his own days. This Cowboy kid's like the Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And he invited me one day. And ever since the first Sunday that he invited me in, I was like, okay, like I've been a Cowboy. Oh, 100%. He taught me a lot. All the faces and all the twists you see, it's all Cowboy. It's all Cowboy. Like I call my style is Cowboy style, but I put my little touch on it, you know.
Yeah. Now you said you and Jocko, have you guys wrestled? How many matches have you guys wrestled since transitioning to your new styles?
Together, like each other?
Yeah, each other.
We only wrestled in one match. It was a 3-way.
Wow.
That was like in Gleason's. We never had a one-on-one match.
And how long ago was that?
Like, I don't know, 4 years ago,
So
something like that.
if you are in the New Jersey area,
yeah,
Ridgefield Park, it's gonna happen at Invictus NFW show, Northern Conquest. You guys are gonna square up again. Walk us through that. What does this mean for you, this matchup?
Oh, this means the world, brother. This match me and him wanted since we joined Johnny, and every time it almost happens, but it never does. Almost happened. That's why he just sent me a message right before I got into. I'm sorry if I'm screaming too much.
No, you're good
about this match.
I love it. I love.
Yeah, and he told me like I still can't believe it's real because I still can't believe it because me and him have been talking about it for a little bit and they kind of give us the hints that it might happen. But then once I saw Alex at the Chosen show, I was like, yeah, you and Jacko in 2 weeks or something. I was like, wait, really? And I told Jack, this is gonna be either the best match you ever seen in your life. I told Alex that was gonna be one of the worst ones you ever seen in your life. Either way, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna go out there and just.
How much loot are you gonna bring back?
Huh?
How much loot are you gonna bring back?
You gotta watch. You want to watch this match?
Yeah, I'm definitely seek it out.
It's gonna be stupid. That's all.
Yeah. So we got a request in the chat. I was told we got to hear the popcorn story.
Popcorn story. The fuck are you talking about?
He said there's a popcorn story.
I don't remember that.
All right.
Popcorn
maybe if he can give you more context.
Oh, maybe. I think maybe when I found out the first time that you guys have like packets.
Okay.
And I didn't know about that, and they blew my mind. I remember PJ now I do remember PJ was just talking about it. I was like, wait, you don't have to get like the corn thing and put the oil on it and the pans. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's a packet that you just put it in there, just this popcorn, and it really blew my mind. I didn't know nothing about that. And they all just made fun of me. It was like,
yeah, you got it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that is. Stop making it like you immigrant, you know.
No, I'm so upset I won't be there to see that match. I'll be at Preacher's funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. What do their matches, are they available online like after it airs? Like, is there somewhere to go watch that?
I think they're gonna post it on YouTube. I know it was supposed to be in the main like IWTV show, but then
not
like,
funeral fundraiser. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I read that said funeral. I'm an idiot.
You go, brother.
Yeah, I'm already killing the guy.
Too much. But like I think it's gonna be on YouTube. But I told Alex, like, hey man, like me and Jacko, we're gonna go crazy, right? He's like, yeah. I know. I was like, I might go over. I don't know what time you're gonna give me yet, but I'm gonna go over it, right? He's like, yeah, I know, we're good. Don't worry. It's like, okay.
The entrances just used to sprinting down.
Oh hell no. Yeah. You want to watch this? Like, if there's any match, I'll tell anybody you gotta watch this one. You gotta watch me and Jacko. It's gonna be one of the best things you've ever seen, or one of the most botch fest matches you've ever seen. But I have a good feeling about that. I trust Jacko.
This is the beautiful thing about this podcast is not only is it watched by fans of wrestling, but it's watched by people in the industry. And not rarely does this happen, but when someone comes in and makes a call out, and here it is right here. MIT says he wants that matchup.
Oh man, me and MIT, brother. That's one of the matches too. Oof.
Yeah,
I told Rosh about that. It's like we gotta wait for MIT to turn baby again because But I definitely told him, hey man, I want MIT. Like I try to politic, a little bit.
Yeah.
Any show. Oh,
100%.
MIT is one of the most underrated people too out there now. He's very good. Like I just see him work. He's like, oh fuck man, that guy's good. That could have a hell of a match.
And then just recently announced a match that me and you were kind of talking to in private, and then we found out that it's happening at Sanctuary. You and Rocket are gonna square up. The first thing Rocket told me, he goes, we better get ropes.
Oh yeah. I know it's supposed to be me and him at first, but then like Trousky just told me it's gonna be a 3-way. But I know me and Rocket are gonna work after. Yeah. So that's one match I'm super excited for.
I think it's kind of good that it's a 3-way first. Let's
100%,
test those waters and then see that happen. Yeah.
I could really tell. I mean, him. We could tell a good story out there.
Yeah. So how do you come up with, we're talking, and this came up so many times within the chat or everything like that, but how do you come up on the fly with so many different techniques and moves, and like just taking something as simple as like a drop down, and then you drop down and then pick an ankle and go right to something. So it's like, how, like, I already look like you guys are speaking a foreign language when you're setting up a match and talking things as a person who's never trained, but like some of the stuff that you do, how much of it is talked about before the match to kind of peel the curtain back, and how much is talked about like in the ring, like, hey, just trust me?
Like move wise or submissions?
Yeah, like both. Like how you just kind of come up with stuff on the fly.
Moves wise, like it's usually talked about before, and usually a lot of times I just think about it on my way there. And I'm sorry for everybody. Like a lot of you guys, I just bullshit. And it's like, oh, I've been doing this move for years. Just trust me and I just do it. I just feel it out. But a lot of them is just because I'll be thinking like in the match in my head, just going through it. And I was like, hey, if I work the back, what if I want to give him? I don't want to just give him a regular backbreaker. Like, oh, hip ties backbreaker. Oh shit, okay, but it kind of works like that. Yeah. But with submissions, it's just on the spot mostly. Like some of them, like now I have my groove, but like a lot of them is just on the spot because when there was a period that Johnny's that he's like, okay, I don't want no road, just go out there and we were just me and a buddy of mine, Zach Gleason, his name's Big Al. He's good like amateur wrestler too. Yeah. So me and him would just go at it, and I would just play. I would just have fun and see what could I come up with. How could I twist the arm or the leg or do something different. And then like I saw Zack Sabre Jr. one time. I forgot who he was wrestling. I think it was Naito. I think so. And I heard one of the commentators say like, I look like he's just coming up with stuff on the spot. And for some reason that unlocked something in my head. I'm like, oh, I could try that. I could just like, I don't have to go for like the, like every move that we know. I could just try to come up with something. So I just go out there, and sometimes it lands, a lot of times it don't. But
I'm gonna ask you a question that I kind of know the answer to. Have you ever put a submission in on somebody, and about halfway into the submission, the person's like, "Yo, ease it up a little bit, ease it up a little bit."
Yesterday I just did that. Yesterday with Santi. I put him something, and I forgot like he got a fucked up shoulder. It was like, yo, ease up. I was like, oh, my bad, brother, my bad.
Philly Mike told me that happened to him when you guys wrestled. You put him in something. He's like, that's good.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't hear him at first, so that's why I kept going. And then like once I was like, oh, okay, my bad, brother, I'm sorry. I didn't even know he had a bum leg, but that was on me. Sometimes I do kind of go a little bit.
He didn't tell anybody. He wanted to keep it quiet because he wanted to put it into an angle. Yeah.
Yeah, man, like he's gonna be a monster when he comes back, man.
I can't wait for Philly Mike to come back. Prior to you taking your first steps at Gleason, what wrestlers did you want to be like, and how have you developed your initial ambitions? From Precious.
Oh, I love Precious. Love Precious.
You got to stretch him out one time for me.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do love him though as a person. Who did I want to be like? I don't know. Like I always, because I like DDP, so he was kind of an inspiration. I always loved like Vampiro. Because he was on a lot of my WCW tapes too. But I never really had like a wrestler that I want to be just like him,
Once you came to America and started studying more and had the access to see more, who are some people that maybe you watched more?
Nigel McGuinness. He's definitely a big influence too on that, the pick a body part and just work it. He really helped me with that. Just watching Nigel McGuinness, and I feel like I'm a mix of Nigel and I'm trying to be like Muda. I'm not as smooth as him, but like I love the work the Great Muda does. Like he performs everything, just hitting the ropes. Like he makes hitting the ropes look cool, and everything he does. So I'm trying to, at least in my heart, I'm trying to like balance both of them, like Nigel McGuinness and what's his name?
If you start pulling out Poison Mist, I'll pop.
I kind of want to do that, but my own
favorite.
Version.
That's my favorite. I love Poison Mist. I watched Masha do a Poison Mist in a match, and I was like, she's my favorite ever. Yeah.
I do have an idea. I will tell you off because I don't want to do it yet, but I would tell you there's an idea that I want to do. Something like that.
I love how the questions are coming in. You guys are killing it tonight. So excited for Prince Ahmed tonight. So Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ahmed. Book it now. Tony Deppen just worked Zack Sabre Jr.
I would love that match, man. That is my. I don't want to say that's the dream match. That's my goal match. I want to go in there. I would love for him to just stretch me and me trying to figure out something. Maybe I will, see how good I really am.
The Pharaoh's Curse, the name for the mist. I like that.
PJ, actually, fun fact, just named my last move. The one I just did on Zachary.
Yeah.
Pharaoh's Fall. PJ is the one who named it.
The Pharaoh's Curse, or what was the? I know it gets used a lot, but like the plague, like because that was a big thing too, like the Egyptian. With fans not familiar with Ahmed, what are some best matches they can go watch, or matches that you can pick out to say like some good ones? I have a laundry list, but I'd like to hear what you say.
I kind of want to hear your list first.
I will take any match that you and Hawthorne did. I thought they were absolute magic and beautiful. You and Polino just recently was fantastic. I really liked you and Philly Mike. I thought that match was excellent at Smash Master. I mean, like, so like I've never had a match that you were in that I was just like, that wasn't my match tonight. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I've
really?
never
That means
been,
a lot to
I
me.
never had a
No, you never
match
told me.
that was just not
That's
like everyone has that one match. You're just like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
but like I've never had that with you. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Oh, that's awesome. That actually means a lot to me. But on top of the list, he said I will put me and Santi. That match taught me a lot too. I'll get back to it, but like for now, it's me and Santi, me and Pena, me and C Pena, Battle Club X, me and Tommy, Tommy Prince from Texas, the one I just did like 2 weeks ago, was pretty good. These three matches, yeah, like I would put like PJ, but like PJ was early in my career, but like now, like if you want like let's say watch 3 matches of mine now, it's gonna be these 3, like Santi, Steve Pena, and the one I had with Tommy Prince. And on top of the list that you said, like Hawthorne and Andre. I love the match with Andre that he won the belt. Oh, that was a great match. But that was like that's such a young Ahmed and young PJ. That's like that's
I actually, if PJ, if you get the footage of that, please send me the link. I want to watch that.
We're young PJ, young Ahmed, so I don't even count him now as the new Ahmed.
before so there you go. When did you transition to the character of Prince Ahmed? So before you were more lucha style, did you always lean into the Egyptian culture with your characters?
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you fully transition into the Prince Ahmed? That we would know now.
It started when after PJ put me over for the world title at Johnny's. I got a phone call. Matt Striker came a couple of times to the gym, and I actually was fortunate enough to work with him. He asked to work with me and stuff. So at that time, they wanted to do like a new Lucha Underground in Vegas, and he recommended a couple of us from Gleason's, but Vampiro only picked me and one of my best friends. He's family to me, Honcho. You know him, Psycho Pump. Matthew Banks, Buck Skinner. Yep. So when we flew in, actually there in that taping there was like Solo Sokoa was there, Chris Bay was there, Mysterious Q from Booker T's place, Will All Day, Gino Medina from MLW. There was a lot of people there, but I was the smallest guy there, and I could tell, like when Vampiro, the moment he looked at me, he wasn't sure about me. So I was like, "Oh fuck," you know. Like, I don't know. I could tell.
How was it seeing Vampiro in person after?
It was
years of watching his tapes, and
it was so crazy. That's the only person when he called, because he called me on the phone. I called right away. My brother in Egypt. I was like, you're not gonna believe who called me. And like Vampiro. I was like, wait, what? And he like hung up and called me again. Like I was like, yeah, bro, like that's the only time I actually marked out.
Yeah,
because I used to watch it when I was a kid in Egypt, like with videotapes. And crazy enough, the last tape I watched before I took the big trip to America was a Vampiro versus Jeff Jarrett match. Because I used to love it. So I just get in that phone call. I was like marking out and see him live at first. Like, shit, man. Like my grandma, and I don't have my grandma died when I was very young. So I have very, very few memories of her. But that was one of the memories, just seeing him and calling him the devil.
Yeah.
So see him at first from a distance, like, oh, that's fucking cool. You shake it, and then you see the disappointment in his face. Like, is that what you brought me, Striker? You know, this little kid. All right. So I remember it was a beautiful venue too. It was in Rio, in the Rio Hotel. They had their own fight dome. It's a beautiful spot. So Matt Striker kind of told me, I don't know why, it just unlocked in me. He's like, be aggressive as shit right before my tryout match. And I just went. It became kind of crazy. And then like Vampiro just stood on the apron and I was like, curse more, just be more aggressive. I start curse at me, so I start cursing at him in Arabic and shit. And like I was like, oh, I hope nobody translate what I'm about to say, because he's a big dude. Like he will snap me in half. Yeah. So that was kind of the beginning of trying to find Prince Ahmed. Then like they made me work with Chris Bay twice.
Oh,
and they kind of it was beautiful, man. I wish I have that footage. I worked him twice. It's fucking.
Now beautiful. You can work Chris Bay's tag team partner.
Oh, he's here. So after that, like, and they had like, bro, it was beautiful production, TV and stuff, and they were talking about.
I miss Lucha Underground.
Oh, it was beautiful, and they had like it's just like you were working TV and stuff. So they were kind of giving me the hints and okay, you should do this, blah blah blah. So I kind of got that from there, and then at first like that. So the original plan for Prince Ahmed was. Remember I told you that like it's the last pharaoh chosen. He's the last pharaoh like chosen by the pharaoh. But in order for me to become my own pharaoh, like and have my own mask and my own. I don't want to say God because it's against my religion to say that, but
Yeah.
kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Is to prove myself to each pharaoh first, to prove myself to Horus, to Subek, to Anubis, everybody, and everybody will have their own target, their own goal, and have my own gear with them. So that was the original plan for it, and I feel like there's a lot of
that'd be a sick piece of art of all the all the gods, and you like kneeling before them with like
yes, exactly, yeah.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
I feel it's a good thing to work towards, like you could fit that anywhere. Like I may not fit you and you because I just heard from them that I need to take you out or whatever. I feel like it's a good goal. Like at the end, you have your own mask or whatever once you accomplish that. But then, like I pitched that idea I remember I pitched that to Kevin Nash, and he told me this beautiful idea, but that it can't work on. It's not. It can't work on. It's going to be very difficult to do on the indies, because when you work on in an indie show, most people don't know you. So how are you going to portray that in?
You only have a couple seconds to sell
exactly, and he said it's a lot. It's great, but he says it needs a lot of introduction. And I remember I pitched it to OVW, and they said, "Oh, we love it, but we have to have you under contract to do that." And right now, our contracts are kind of full. I think they have like a certain amount of contracts that you could use. Mm-hmm. So okay, but once we start bringing in more, we could do that. So I switched to the kind of the torture artist, where okay, it's still my style. I could still mess you up and shit, but it's kind of less charactery. Still kind of same, but like it's less than the whole like.
Your new gear, you have that new white gear, and down the leg, if I'm not mistaken, it says "Torture is art."
No, it's just torture artist, but they kind of messed it up. But it's actually
torture artist. Yeah. I when I seen that, I was like, because we always say at the sanctuary, we're making art here. We're making art.
Yeah.
I always thought to myself, like your art is your torture. Like you kind of embodied the sanctuary with your character.
I love that. I want to make that as a T-shirt now.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Like a sanctuary exclusive on Medshirt.
Yeah. Actually,
like the art is your and we kind of put that over on commentary a lot too. Like we're like always saying like torture is your art. Like that's your art that you portray. And you guys everyone has their own art they bring. Like savages is savage. Being a savage is his art. Like you know what I mean. Like everyone has that is art kind of moniker.
Exactly. And one of the things that I really love when like somebody comes to me is like, oh, I love that it's not just a nickname that you just throw. It just like we could see it. And it really makes my day when somebody like I really appreciate it a lot when somebody like a wrestler or even a fan is like, oh, we could see it, like why they call you this. It makes my day.
What makes a good character too, at least for me as well, is like if I can see your character in a wrestling, like you look at Hulk Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan's character wrestled in a ring, but Hulk Hogan character you can insert in a Rocky movie. You can insert here.
Yeah.
He could be a villain. He could be a hero. Like I look at the character of Prince Ahmed and like you could be a Moon Knight villain. You know what I mean? Like you could be a Marvel character. You know what I mean? Like your character can transition from just professional wrestling to something else. And I think
somebody just told me like I want to see you in Prince of Persia. Last show I did.
Somebody Prince of Persia, I want Assassin's Creed, Moon Knight.
I was like, I want to see you, like I don't know if you're a villain or the hero. Like I just want to see you. It's like, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
But thank you. Yeah.
Andre Polino says, I can see why they call you the torture artist.
Oh, I love Andre. He's one of my favorite people to work. And that last match we had, like, I wish like the finish didn't really get messed up.
But like that was four sanctuary champions here in the chat. We had Hawthorne, we have PJ, we have you.
I love Hawthorne too. I gotta give that man a lot of love. Hawthorne, man, he's very, very underrated. I remember me and PJ were in the car, and he's like, "That man belongs on TV. He don't belong with us on the indie shit." He's not saying that as a knock on the indie shit, but like Hawthorne he's a different.
I agree, and I sound so biased, and I can't stand when other people like, oh, go watch this company I'm really proud of, and then I watch their roster, and I'm like, nobody stands out to me. I'm not trying to be mean, but no one stands out. But like what we have in this Northeast area, and like the people who come to the sanctuary, and people that work at like a lot of shows we work at, I'm like, not just because we're friends, it's just like there's so many really talented people here. Like if I hit the lottery and was a billionaire, I'd do my own Lucha Underground, and I would do it like I would use a sanctuary. Like sanctuary was that where we did the skits and bits, and I think that can slowly come back. But it's so good.
Man, I gotta give a lot of love to Trotsky. He teaches me a lot, man. He teaches a lot of people. Like if you go there and you actually just go there and like want to be better, he will help you out a lot. Don't go in with your own agenda, like I'm gonna do it just my way. Fuck it. Listen what he wants to tell you, because he will help you a lot more than you think. He gives you all the tools to succeed, man. It's really up to you to make it or break it, you know?
Dylan Quinn. I hate this one. We're going to read it. I always met. So my ABJ character has turned slowly heel, so I always find people to hate on, and I always hate on Dylan. But who's your favorite ref, and why is it me? But no, it's a damn shame. I don't think I got. I don't think I got.
Yeah, I don't think you ever ref my matches.
I mean, I'm just saying. There's always a place on a Sunday and a first Friday that can use a referee, and nobody ever shows up. Refs never show up. Lance is the only one who comes. Just saying.
I love Lance too. Yeah. I love Lance. One of my favorite referees is I love Steve Domingue. He's part of the Fallout training crew, and William from Connecticut. He refs it for Battle Club, not Battle Club, Beyond and Wrestling Open and stuff. Yeah, I love them though. I could just go out there and just play, and it's like they will play with me, you know.
Yeah. So transitioning here, kind of taking it back to the beginning of you doing your first training session with Masha.
Masha Killen.
And now you two are part of a team that helped train a new generation of wrestlers. Not saying that you're packing it up and you're just becoming a trainer, but your skills and everything that you've learned and accomplished in wrestling is enough that people are like, hey, how can you help this next group get better?
Which
and now
you're doing my mind, honestly. Yeah, it blew my guys. I used to, because I love, I don't know if you know him, Inner City King Santi. I got to give that man a lot of love too, because he taught me a lot, bro. I saw him one time in Gleason's just take a hip toss when I first started. He made a hip toss look so good, bro. It made me it was better than any move I've seen in my life. Just taking a hip toss. I was like, I want to be like him, and he left for a little bit. And then like once I started like traveling out more, and like I went to OVW in Texas, and I was very fortunate with the opportunities that I had. He hit me up. And just him like liking my work was like a huge honor to me. It's like, hey man, like I'm part of Battle Club now. Like I'm a trainer there. If you want to come and just like get in the ring with us, like, oh fuck yeah, bro. I just want to get in the ring with you. I just want to feel you out in the ring. I know it sounds weird, but for non-wrestling people, but like as a wrestler, you know what I was like, I want to feel him in the ring. I want to see how smoothly, and bro, just the moment you touch him, it's magic. Yeah. And so he started inviting me more to, and Joe Kim, a lot of love to Joe Kim too, because he gave me, I used to go train, and he never asked me for money. It was always on the house. So he always treated me with respect and love. And then like, so I started going more with Santi, just to be in the ring with him. Masha would come and all that stuff. And then like just one day, I remember there was a guy there. I like him, but like, but I don't want to ever have like a match with him. I will tell you why after off air. It's really gonna, it's not gonna be good. It's not even. It's. I'll tell you why after. But for there's a reason why I can't have a match with him. But we did a drill and fucking came out beautiful, right? And then like Joe Kim calls me over and is like, Ahmed, could I speak to you for a second? And at that time, I didn't really speak to Joe Kim that much. Like it's always been high and by and respectful. And he always showed love, but we don't really have that. Hey, could I talk to you for a second? And in my head, could I talk to you for a second? I was like, oh fuck, is he gonna ask me to work with him? Because oh man, I love Joe, but I can't do that match in my head, And oh shit, one of my favorite matches, Santi and Ahmed. Okay, so Joe's like, Ahmed, do you feel comfortable? I was like, oh, he's gonna ask me that fucking question. Do you feel comfortable becoming a coach? It was like, wait, what? Me? Yeah, becoming a coach with Santi, because I want like each class to be different. Like, let's say like you have a school, like you have English and math and biology, whatever. Like I want like you and Santi to be a class, Masha and Akira be a class, and Steve Domingue and Mike Law be a class. Like, oh hell yeah, man, absolutely, man. Thank you. I didn't know if I'm good enough to be a trainer. Like who the fuck am I to tell people like, oh, you're doing it wrong? In my opinion, you should do blah blah blah. But I felt comfortable doing that with Santi.
I would bring you into a school not just for your ability, but your mind state and your determination. Because not many people are going to pick up their entire family and their entire life and leave their country to come to America to chase a dream that may or may not pan out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, thank you though.
So like when a wrestler is going through, even myself, man, I go through a lot of like, oh man, maybe this should be it. Maybe I should pack it in. Maybe I should just change up my course here. And then I hear stories like yours. It's like, mine's so insignificant. Like, it really feels that way. And it's not like to have like a pissing contest, but like, that's a lot to leave everything you know and everything you love. And like, not many people in society, in America in general, leave a 15-mile bubble of their home because that comfort. And for you to leave all of that for this industry, I would put you on any roster or any team or any coaching staff if I had the ability to do so. Because I don't want to even say that. That's a huge jump.
I don't want to like say, oh, it makes me better than everyone. It don't, man. It
It
just is
doesn't, but
something. Yeah,
that's a tough mental block to get through. And
yeah, it
sometimes
really
hearing that
is.
story can help people be like, all right, I need to reset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
When I
yeah.
tell that story, I use it to like, hey man, I promise you're a lot tougher than you think. Because
Mhm.
I came from this like, okay, because in Egypt we're all very family oriented and like
Yeah.
everybody's together. And once I said I want to get out of that, like everybody was kind of against me. I don't blame them though. They didn't do it like maliciously, but like, if you you're gonna leave dental
Scary.
school to leave and just go do something as crazy as wrestling, you do slap your legs for sound effects. It sounds kind of ridiculous. I do get that, but everybody was against me for. They were trying to like wake me up. I remember there was a little bit of period of time they thought like I had like black magic on me, and they're like they would bring like all these stuff like, hey man, somebody did black magic on you. Something's not right, and they
You want to
start.
be a wrestler?
Oh yeah, because it sounds so weird to them, and I God bless them. I do understand.
Do they
But,
ever
like,
watch your matches and see your character and still think that because you play
Oh,
such
yeah.
an evil character?
yeah.
He's amazing. Everyone back home, he's amazing. He's such a sweetheart. We're happy to have him. Thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, there's like, oh man, that's the devil in you. We see it because I remember my mom. She came and watched me only twice, and I was like, I can't believe that's you. Like you're not the same Ahmed that. I was like, I almost didn't recognize. Like she stopped booing me. I love her though. I love her.
I love that.
I love her for a reason too, that even though we have this such a like we're very certain about like our mindset and stuff, she was the first person to come and talk to me about it. It's very different. Like it's not like American moms and stuff are like, oh, we're gonna call talk to him. So for an Egyptian woman to do that, it was like, it means the world. She's like, Ahmed, what do you want to do? Okay, what's it? Talk to me, Ahmed. And we start talking, and little by little, like, okay, go. Like, if you believe in that, and just you're not gonna do anything wrong, just okay. God bless you. Just remember to pray and all.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
Yeah, and she made me my first tights because I was so broke, and I remember I needed to. Well, that's when I actually was supposed to wrestle Matt Striker. I had like generic pants and shit, and I was like, oh, I need something more. It's Matt Striker. I need something. I remember I went and bought these like Brazil like training pants, and I was like, oh, Mom, I want to do something. I was like, don't worry, and she, God bless her, she tried to make it look into gold and stuff, and she's the first inspiration to go into that gold color. And my dad, like,
I love the black and gold. Black and gold is my favorite color scheme. That's why it's on most
of
my
them,
logos are black and gold. Yeah,
I love black and gold. Jacob was the one who drew the black and gold gear.
Really?
Yeah, he sketched it out. Me and him were just talking. I remember I was like, Jacob, I want something like almost like Kurt Angle, and we're just talking on the phone.
I love the
skirt thing. Yeah,
skirt thing. Yeah.
It's different because I saw it kind of from I think Psychosis. I forgot Psychosis versus I think Super Crazy at One Night Stand or something, and he had something similar like that. And I was telling Jacko, I kind of want something like just kind of different, and he drew that. He drew the gear. I was like, is that good enough? I didn't even tell him to draw it. I think he offered. I was like, oh, you don't need to, bro. He's just like, so what up?
First time I saw you against Guy Skyros, you scared me. It's good.
Good. I love Sky. I feel like that's one of the matches I kind of under-delivered. I want to have a match again with my Skyros. Me and him. And
I'm going to tell you right now, Millie from the left side, if you really want to get that full, like, listen, people out there see Ahmed and see PJ and see everyone wrestle on the scene, and where they work is beautiful. But if you really want that Prince Ahmed experience, if you really want that experience of, in my opinion, the best way these characters step out, you got to come to the Sanctuary,
man. I'll give you two places, Sanctuary and Battle Club.
Yeah.
These are two places where, like, okay, I could be Ahmed. You got to see some work.
I really want to make a trip out there because I have a lot of friends who have transitioned and went over there, Cosmic and Rembrandt and a few others, and they were already talented and already had a good mind state of wanting to become better and wanting to push themselves harder in this industry. Yeah. And once I found out that who the coaching staff was there, and hearing you and Masha, and just seeing them in just a short amount of time of it, they've gotten so much better, which is insane to think about. Like, I'm so proud of them, and I like, it's another school that I've never experienced, but I love everything they do. Like Gleason's, I've never stepped foot in Gleason's, but because I've met so many people come there. House of Glory, I met so many talented people that came from there and became friends with, and then this where you're at now training is just another one that like is on my list of I want to go experience.
Anytime, man. They have such a beautiful like facility. Like Joe Kim did a hell of a job, man, and he really is trying to make. I'd never seen anybody care as much about his students as Joe Kim. That's when once I got out of Gleason's,
It translates through his students. It really
yeah,
does.
and I don't want to sound cocky or anything because I'm really nobody for real though. But a lot of places did hit me up to go and train there, and I was like, I feel like I'll betray Johnny. I'm a Gleason's boy. And once Santi is the only one who invited me into that, and he's the only place. That's the only place I went and trained at was Battle Club. And I saw the way they're doing it. Okay, I like the vibe here. But plus, they're all like Gleason's guy. Like, you got Pena as a Gleason's guy, Masha and Santi. And plus, of course, Michael and stuff. But once I started speaking to Joe Kim and how much he cares about his students, and I mean, it's beautiful. It made me care too. You know, maybe I want to help you as much as you can. Yeah, Paul Mendoza, which is Joe K on Twitter and Instagram. He always filming stuff and try to make people comfortable around the cameras and stuff. So everybody, man, is doing a hell of a job.
Sick.
Yeah, they do a hell of a job. They trying to make everybody shine. They really do care. It's not just bullshit me saying it. So I love
Leon the King says, "What is your favorite wrestling video game?"
Oh, here comes the pain. SmackDown.
Here comes the pain. Dude, I cannot wait for that AEW game. That looks
me
like
too, though.
It looks like No Mercy. Like
I never experienced No Mercy.
Really? Like never experienced No Mercy?
No, I didn't have none of the stuff. Yeah.
Oh boy. That's a trip. That's a trip. It's a good one. But there's a video out of just Chris Statlander and Darby Allin riding a skateboard around the
that looks so fun,
and I'm
bro.
like,
I'm sold, bro.
Yeah,
I'm sold, bro.
Give me 4 people in the ring and just give us all skateboards to ride around on. We'll do that for hours. Last call. I know we went a little longer than I normally do the last call. I'm having a blast here. I would love a part 2. I'd love to dive down into like video games and comic books and stuff that you're into, or just talk about more as a person. I appreciate you doing this so much. You did fantastic, man. You're killing it.
Yeah, really.
Like, for someone who is terrified to do podcasts, I'm really appreciating.
Like you and Don Kincaid. I love Don because you guys always help me out a lot, and you always like put me over and stuff. So that really goes a long way with, and not just like you're doing it so I could get on the show. No, you're genuinely nice people. You're genuinely trying to help me out. So I love you guys.
I just want more people to experience you outside of your character and see who you are as a person and hear your story, because I think it's important. I think that's what helps fans today. I know kayfabe is really, really important, but I think having that, I think that's how you get your fans to support harder, is if they know who you are as a person and support harder. You know, like I think it helps.
In my heart, I know that, but just the way I was brought into the business, even growing up, I didn't even start using social media until I came to America, just to keep up with my buddies. So it's very foreign to me, especially when I'm going to Johnny, kayfabe and all that stuff, and so it's very out of my. I know it's the right thing to do, but I'm always like, fucking don't feel.
It hurts. It's listen. There's one last guy that I want out of that stable, and I just got to break him down. I got to break him in the face. I got to break him down. I actually said I'll
tell you his real name, and you could use that against him.
Yeah, it's like, get on the podcast. No, because it'll kill me. I don't want to.
I love Face. I love that man. I used to people be terrified because I haven't seen him in a long time, and he got super jacked, and people just look at him from the side like all terrified. And I just go in and just like scream in his ear and make fun of him and stuff. But I love it, man.
So good. So we were at Smash, and it was myself and Bougie, and Bougie's like, "Yo, you got Jocko on the podcast?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "He doesn't do those." And he's like, "Yo, you had me, you had PJ, you had Jocko." I said, "Ahmed's on Thursday." He goes, "What?" He goes, "You got Ahmed too?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I go, "There's only one guy I need." And Face just turns around and he's just like, and then I was with some people when he came walking by, and I was like, "Bougie, I hate you. Face, you're cool." And he just headbutted the gate, like the great, like I thought he ripped himself off, and he just headbutted. I was like, I love that guy.
I love him, and he's so underrated too. Like, people think of him of the death match and stuff, but like in the ring, Face can go, bro. Me and him used to just have fun in the ring. In Gleason's, bro, like I was just, man, the amount of shit with the spots we came up together. I used to put like Face in a tiger bomb and pick him up, and midair he would flip right into a crossface midair, and we just bumped together. Oh, it was so beautiful, bro.
Crazy.
We would do some crazy shit, me and him, and John would come yell at us, of course. Pa, what are you doing? You can't do that here. But he's very, very underrated too.
I've never seen someone captivate a crowd and get people chanting him and getting into his match, face or heel, more than a guy who never talks. He never says a word.
Star, man. He's a star, brother. He's a star. I gotta give love.
Making Face break and laugh is my fave. I totally agree.
It's beautiful, but then once he really gets mad, it's kind of scary because I used to piss him off a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
You just run
I
out to
don't
get the
ever
gym.
want to see that man seriously angry. I'm leaving the building. You're all on your own. But I pitched to Face joking around and Bougie. I said, you know how you guys have to break up now, right? And he goes, what? I said, what are you going to be in a couple weeks, Bougie? And he goes, what? I go, and this girl's like, a dad? And I was like, yes, no. And I go, what is he? And they're like, the MILF hunter. I was like, there you go.
Oh man.
And he's like, I love it, but I don't want that.
No, all right. Stop playing around, Anthony.
Yeah, stop joking. He's on my team. Here we go. We'll get the last couple of questions in. And once again, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
If you could write a letter to to a younger Prince Ahmed, what would it say? To a future Prince Ahmed.
Just trust the process, man. It's just go with it, because of course, man, you have a lot of doubt when you're just changing your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, man, like, oh, could I do it? Fuck, man. Yeah, and it took me a little bit, to really buy into that. But like, hey, man, just go for it, because you only live once, brother. Especially if I'm not harming nobody. I mean, in the ring I am, but outside, I'm just minding my own business, man. God bless everybody, man. God bless everybody. And even if I don't like you, like my mother always says, God bless you, but away from me, brother. Yeah, I still wish you nothing but love.
I want you to eat, just not at my table.
Yeah, exactly, brother. Like, and even I don't hate on nobody, because if you got something, brother, that means you've done something right.
Yeah.
So I just focus on myself, and God bless everybody around me. But I would say just trust the process.
What match would you have someone new to professional wrestling watch? I got to see you this past week in the Sanctuary, and it was magical. So this weekend, this is my friend Lily. She I'm gonna say this again, and I'm not saying it to pick on you. I'm just saying this. She knows like Cena and The Rock, but one of her favorite movies is They Live. But this is how out of wrestling she grew up. She doesn't know much about it. She didn't know Roddy Piper was a wrestler. Yes. But so this weekend she got to experience Smashmaster and Sanctuary. So they were her first ever wrestling matches.
I think I did talk to her last time. Yeah, she's a cool person. Yeah, very cool.
So as what would you recommend to her as a wrestling fan, like a match that she has to go watch?
I love The Rock and Stone Cold, man. WrestleMania 17. I love that Rock and Stone Cold.
And you have Peacock, so you can go find that.
Yeah, like that was my match when I was a kid. Like that was one of the matches that my dad I don't know how the hell he got that. WrestleMania pay-per-view. Yeah, but that was one of the matches that I had, and I love it. For me personally, I don't know but maybe I love the Rock Stone Cold Mania.
Mine would be Sean Razor, the first ladder match.
Okay, I love that match too. I watched that as a wrestler, because I wasn't really exposed to that as a kid, but I'm talking just as a fan.
Yeah, absolutely. People don't understand how amazing Ahmed is outside the ring. Is legit one of the most genuine guys in wrestling. Dylan is putting it on heavy for
I love Dylan, man. He's one of my favorite people. And that man goes through a lot, and he's a tough man.
He's a good dude. I love him.
He's a good dude, man. I love that guy. He's a brother.
Face is a physical machine. Yep. And then any other independent wrestling scenes that you have your eye on. I'd love to see you in the KC area against my guy Luke Langley.
I would love to go anywhere, honestly, brother. I want to wrestle everywhere, and that's shoot though. Like whenever somebody asks me, it's like, okay, like where do you want to go? Like AEW, WWE. In my heart, for real though, and it's not bullshit. I want to go everywhere. I want to wrestle for TNA, for Impact, for AEW, for Ring of Honor, for Japan, everywhere.
And you did get to do New Japan America, New Japan Strong.
Yeah. I was fortunate with that. I was fortunate to have like an Impact gut check tryout, and they invited me to a show after. There's some stuff, but I really want to work everywhere, because you learn so much, man. Just working different people, different styles, different environments too. It's just you become a better wrestler. Like AJ Styles, bro. You watch AJ Styles, he's been to everywhere, and look at him now.
Yep.
Like that's kind of the route. It's the long route, but like that's the route I kind of want to take, where I just go everywhere, experience everybody, but then at the end you just build your own thing.
That's the beautiful part about a promotion too. Like a lot of promotions, I feel like, sure, they go and they want to put on matches and they want to keep their locker room tight and they want to do that. Yeah. But if you look at places like the Lucha Underground, you look at the ROHs, you look at Japan, you look at like some of these companies on a bigger level, is like it was such a breeding ground for so many talent to come in and collaborate and work with each other, and like PWG, and it became this place that everyone kind of came in, and everyone got to, like how you said, touch. You know what I mean? Just a simple touch in the ring or talk to each other backstage.
You learn, man.
And network, and it's insane how much someone can learn in wrestling on a 15-20 minute before match interaction.
before and
It's
after.
crazy.
And it's beautiful. And like I had like it started feeling it more and more now because the more I'm aware of it. But like I had a match in Texas with a guy, I love it. His name is Lou Gotti, and he's a trainer. I didn't know he was a trainer there at the time, but he taught me so much. Like I'm kind of, it's kind of hard for me to put stuff together, and the way he just taught me is like, oh shit, it clicked. Then like I wrestled Santi, and like I said, like I always wanted to work with him, but he would teach you some stuff that, oh, there's another oh shit moment, like where something unlocks in your head. Where like Santi is all about like creating moments and stuff, and like you wrestle a guy like Penny, he taught me a lot because he just brings the fight out of you as a fight, but he knows how to construct it. So combining all that, man, you tell a story and like put a spots together and bring the fight. Imagine put all these three together. It's like, oh shit, you're a hell of a wrestler. Then I'm still not there yet, but I feel like just touching these different people from different sides, it teaches you a lot.
The person who taught me that, not because I've never stepped in between the ropes, I've never trained, but the person who taught me how important just booking somebody against somebody in a show can be for someone's growth was Christina Marie. Christina Marie, very, very talented. And I think that Zoe Starks, if Zoe Starks is on TV, Christina Marie should be on TV because I think they're very similar. I think they're just as talented as each other. But Christina Marie said like she struggled and she didn't know if she fit in and she didn't know how she was doing or where she stood. And then PPW put her against Mercedes Martinez twice. And she says just those two interactions and those two matches with Mercedes Martinez made me who I am now as Christina Marie. And I was like, that's insane. And I always think to myself as like when someone goes to an actual school and that school brings in people, or you have a school where like, like just not to bring it up again because I'm a giant mark for you, both of you, but like a you and a Masha and all those other talented people are there all the time working with you. Like if you don't get good in that scenario, it's on you. You know what I mean? Like it's like an NXT, like if you go to NXT and you don't excel, like how, like you're getting those experiences that people in the independent scene only get for an hour or two, and 100%. You're getting it every day, every week.
And with Battle Club, like they have like Masha, you have Akira, MLW now.
Akira's amazing.
You have Steve Pena is killing it all over the fucking scene. You have Santi, in my money, best wrestler I ever seen in my life. You have Mike Law. Michael is fucking beautiful and everything. Got great promo. You have Steve Domingue, who was a referee, but his perspective on the business is so different that like, oh shit, okay, because he sees it from a different side too, that his knowledge and his opinion is so valuable. Like I'm gonna put myself, because I'm the least experienced out of all of them, but just having all these guys around, like brother, if you don't really make it, and having Joe helping you out and giving you opportunities, and having Paul Mendoza just film me around trying to make you better, that's really on you though. All we ask for in return is just effort.
Yeah.
And you'll see, I guarantee you, if you show us effort, you're going to see the results of it.
Totally agree. Well, to close here, Prince Ahmed, where can people find you and anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to cover?
You can find me on Facebook under my real name, Ahmed El Salakawi. It's a long ass name, but I think if you write Prince Ahmed, it will show up.
Yep.
On Instagram, it's Prince Ahmed, but the Ahmed is kind of A.H.M because there's a million Princes Ahmed on Instagram. And on Twitter, unfortunately, is at Real Prince Ahmed. I don't believe myself. I was like, I
think you deactivated it. I think it's deactivated.
Did I?
Yes.
Twitter?
Yep.
I just posted something today. I don't know.
Well, if I went to your Twitter via your pro wrestling tees and it was deactivated, so you might have to update your pro wrestling tees.
Oh shit! Okay, maybe I did.
When I was doing the links, I found that out.
Okay.
I thought you just kind of went to one social media.
No, I just posted something today. It's crazy. Yeah,
and get Prince Ahmed merch. His merch is sick. I love your merch. You have really good merch.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It means a lot. Shout out to Jesse Laboom. He's also a Johnny guy, but he makes all the logos, all the designs for us, and he does everything. If you want him on your show or whatever, he does whatever you want.
I'm down, dude. Anyone you think is a good conversation, I trust your judgment. Send him my way.
You gotta get Honcho here, man. Matthew Banks, and you gotta get Santi too, brother. Both of them.
Get them. Send them over.
Honcho and Matthew Banks, because he's a brother. Matthew Banks. Before I do anything in wrestling, I just ask his opinion. Yeah. Before I go like do something stupid, it's like, Matt, what do you think? Blah, 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 blah. And I just go bark out something, and he's so wise in the business, in the business and outside of business, that he would just calm me down. And Santi is also a brother of mine and Cowboy also too. But just try to get Cowboy. Fuck all these guys. Try to get Cowboy.
Cowboy's on the list. I want to interview Cowboy, but I told Cowboy one of these weekends or one of these days I want to go with him and I want to go experience. I want to just go to Gleason's.
That's awesome. Oh shit. Yeah.
It'd be a full moment for me because like I just hearing all of your stories now and getting that feel of where you guys came
Oh.
from, and always talking to Cowboy about it. Just to walk in now for me, just absorbing all that would be very magical.
I would just
and
show up
special
from
for
the
me.
side because I don't want to be near him next to a ring.
Yeah.
I would just see him. Oh, hell no. I don't want to get in the ring with Cowboy. He would beat the hell out of me. Even though now you guys think, oh, Ahmed stretches out people. Oh, no. Cowboy's a different level, bro.
Yeah, he's an animal. I shake his hand. I'm like, please God, don't grip me up and bring me in. You know,
I've seen
I'm glad it stays as hugs.
One guy tried to like really shoot on him or half-ass shoot, put like a choke on him. Cowboy immediately, 2 seconds, like, oh, put him in a hold and grabbed him by his chest. And like, if you ever try to choke me out again, I'll kill you. And then like just dropped him. And the guy like after just got out of the ring and Cowboy just took his mask off and like nothing happened. He went to him, was like, "How you doing, brother?" And so he shook his hand. It was like, oh,
yeah,
man.
Scary man.
Yeah,
What an amazing man as well.
Man. He's a papa to me.
Yeah. Schultz says those hands are evil.
Yeah.
But those hands make a lot of people very good.
Hell yeah, man. That's macho style, man.
Yeah. Jesus. First ever women's GCW champion. Yeah, like the best.
Hell yeah, brother.
Impact needs to pull the goddamn trigger on her.
I think they will.
Oh my God. That Impact's women's division is low key so good.
No, it's amazing, bro.
That women's division in Impact is so good. Between her, Mickey James, Jordan Grace, like Deanna, like just I love amazing. Impact's so underrated. Please, more people watch Impact. It's criminally underrated what they're doing. I know there's one guy 100%. Right out front, he's a Gleason's guy that I'm not a huge fan of. I got to be honest. Bubba. I have a hard time with Bubba.
Bubba Ray?
I respect everything he's done in this business. I respect who he is as a person. Like
he's not really a Gleason's guy though.
Oh, he's not?
No, he came to train, but he never did. Or maybe did like a month. Yeah, I thought he was there for a little bit. Yeah. No, I don't know. Like I heard 2 stories. Like I heard his story that he came for like a month and left, and I heard like story from Johnny himself, and he said no, he just came and talked to me, but he never showed up with the money after. He was somebody else. That
makes sense because he doesn't have the characteristics of a Gleason's guy.
No, he said like he was taught by Devon, which is Johnny guy, so he's kind of technically.
Yeah. But I don't know. He annoys me sometimes, but I respect him. I respect him in the ring and stuff. But there's some things I've seen personally behind curtains that I was just like.
Oh, I heard some stuff too. Yeah, I'll tell you after. Off air.
Yeah, not a fan. But Tommy Dreamer, what a sweetheart. That guy. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
I met him in the when they invited me to the show. He's cool.
Yeah. But that'll do it, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll be back next Monday at 7:00. HC Loke will be on the podcast.
Oh, I forgot. How the fuck I forgot to mention HC Loke. He taught me so much too.
Yeah,
he was my first match at the Sanctuary.
Yes, he was. That's right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I love that HC Loke coming to Sanctuary. That was really fun. He would bring his kid. His crew of kids is so good too.
Fucking good. TJ,
so good.
All these guys, man. Oh fuck, man.
Syrian Rain, all of them. But we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for everyone coming and hanging out. Make sure you share this podcast. Put everything out. Like I said, Pro Wrestling Tees, I'll put it in the chat again, is having a sale for the next 30 hours. Everything on the site is 35% off. You can get t-shirts for $16. Grab some ABJ merch. It really helps your boy out. But I'll see you guys next time on Monday with more interviews and HC Loke, and we're out of here.